Hello, all you fabulous people. It's me, Jen, and I'm nothing if not intense. It's Tuesday, October 18th, 2018. Spotlight, service elevators. I must caution you, buckle up, because I think what I have found today is going to be very explosive. I was working on a different video, just doing some research, buttoning up, trying to get everything ready to do the video. Within that research, I had a total aha moment. Oh my gosh. So I completely changed directions. Well, not completely, because it does kind of have something to do with this. But I changed directions because I feel what I'm going to share with you tonight pales in comparison. The other video would pale in comparison. Not saying that it's not important, because it is, and it's very significant, but what I'm going to share with you now, in my opinion, is huge. Let's ask ourselves, what if the service elevators that Stephen Paddock was using when he had the big bags with the bellman on the cart, if those bags were going to a room on the Four Seasons floors, what would that do to the narrative versus that being the service elevators for floor 32? What if it was the service elevators for the Four Seasons? Would that not make their narrative implode? I think so. So let's go on this little journey. What tipped me off originally was this timeline, the overview for September 25th. Says how he checked into the Mandalay Bay, 32135 under his name. He booked the connecting room, 32134, for the 29th through the October 2nd. Then Paddock was at the sushi restaurant inside the Mandalay Bay. He then drove his vehicle from South Park to valet. Footnote number 11. Confirmed by valet ticket, blah, 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 blah. However, the footnote, what I have found in months and months of going through these reports and all the research, is that typically when there is a footnote, that is a pattern. There's a pattern of deception anytime they notate a footnote. So I thought, okay, something's up, something's not adding up. So now keep in mind, this is the first day that they tell us that he's checking into Mandalay Bay, which I feel is very important. Which, from in the beginning, they didn't even want us to know about the 25th and 26th. They wanted us to think he got there on the 27th. Or the 28th, I can't remember. Anyway, it wasn't the 25th. No, it was the 28th, I believe they kept saying. However, we know that was false. It was the 25th. So they say at 2:25 or 14:25, he left the Ogden. At 2:46, he entered the Mandalay Bay self-parking area. That's all fine and good. And then they tell us at 15:33 or 3:33, he checked into room 32135 of the Mandalay Bay. Then about an hour and a half later, at 16:56 or 4:56, they say a bellman met Paddock and escorted him to room 32135. Paddock requested to go through the service elevators and not through the guest elevators. According to interviews, this request is not uncommon for guests of the hotel. Paddock rolled one bag and a bellman used a luggage cart for the other 4 bags. Okay. However, if you look at CCTV, at 14:52, they have him on camera at the VIP check-in area. And he's there for at least 5 minutes. I would think that he was checking in at that time because he's in the VIP checkout. He's at the VIP checkout counter. I don't know what else you would be doing at the VIP check-in counter other than checking into your room. However, they don't say that he did that then. After he leaves the check-in, the CCTV goes directly to when he's in the restaurant. Now, there's no timestamp when he's in the restaurant, but I guess we are to assume that when he leaves the VIP, or when it switches at 2:57 from the VIP counter to the restaurant, that he's walking into that restaurant. So let's assume that it's 2:57, 2:58, he gets in there. He eats, he's in there for quite a while. He's in there for about 34 minutes. So that shows him leaving. If you add those 31 minutes to the 2:57 at 3:31. Now they say at 3:33 he checks into 32-135 of the Mandalay Bay. At first I was like, nope, that's completely wrong. He did that at 2:52, between 2:52 and 2:57. However, I'm not going to say that that's not correct, because that very well could be. What was he doing? Where was he checking it? What room was he checking into at 2:52? Maybe something at the Four Seasons? Maybe, maybe not. But there is that possibility. So we'll just say, I won't call them a liar at the 3:33. We don't have any CCTV footage from 3:30 of him checking in, but that's what they're telling us. That's when he checked into 32-135. So obviously when he was there prior, he was doing something else. What that was, we don't know. Then at 16:56 or 4:56, a bellman met Paddock and escorted him to room 32-135. We do have CCTV footage of him and a bellman with the cart. He's rolling a bag. But guess what? He is not in the service elevator area for Mandalay Bay, floor 32. Buckle up. He is in the Four Seasons service elevator area. Did you hear me? The Four Seasons. I have looked and looked and looked and reviewed this footage over and over and over for the past few hours. Not one time when you see him with the big bags on the carts is he in anything but the service elevators for Four Seasons. When he is by himself rolling bags, he is using Mandalay Bay guest elevators. He never uses a service elevator when it's just him and a couple rolling bags. And those are Mandalay Bay guest elevators. When he has the cart with the big bags that allegedly are carrying all the weapons, he is going somewhere. Him, that cart, and that bellman are going somewhere on the Four Seasons floors. I think this is major, major, major narrative exploding evidence. If you will recall, the Four Seasons owns and operates floors 35 through 39 at the Mandalay Bay. Within the Mandalay Bay, there's Four Seasons, and it's floors 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. 5 floors within the Mandalay Bay. And those Four Seasons floors aren't accessible like the Mandalay Bay floors are. Once you get to, some elevators only go to floor 34, because those are strictly Mandalay Bay floor elevators. There's different ones to get that you have to use for Four Seasons. I would imagine the same thing would hold true for the service elevators. You're not using Mandalay Bay service elevators to go anywhere on the Four Seasons floors. You're going to need to, you're going to need to use the Four Seasons service elevators, which I believe are two very distinct things. They're two very different, distinct elevator banks. So getting back to the timeline for a minute, it's not right, or something's wonky with it. They're trying to hide something. It just doesn't add up to the CCTV footage that they released. So when we do see him leaving the valet at that about 4:56, we do have that footage then of him going to the service elevator with the bellman. Here he is pulling into the valet car pickup drop-off area at 4:53 on 9/25. There's somebody coming with a cart. They start loading his luggage. My original video, see the white car in front of him and the two chicks getting out. That was what this video was supposed to be, but again, that research and that content pales in comparison to what you're about to see. Bear with me. Let this play out. It's not exciting at all, so I do apologize, but it is necessary viewing. And honestly, did you see anybody flipping anything down the windshield and all that stuff like in that one footage? No, I didn't. And 16:58, 4:58, we are now in the service elevator area. But check it out, guys. Stop. Oh, oops. Now I want you to take a look at something. And how in God's name nobody has noticed this before, I don't know. But the writing at the bottom, 5430, that's the camera number. Four Seasons Service Elevator, 1658 45.62. That was 9:25 at 4:58. He is not in the Mandalay Bay service elevator bank. He is in the Four Seasons service elevator lobby, or whatever they want to call it. I think I was walking as I was with my iPad looking at something, and I almost tripped when I noticed that. Hasn't anybody else noticed this? I don't know. But this is freaking huge, you guys. Huge. Those bags weren't going anywhere on floors 1 through 34 at Mandalay Bay. They were going somewhere between 35 and 39 at the Four Seasons. What this all means, I don't know exactly, other than the price is wrong, bitch, on your LVMPD final report narrative. Kaboom! Done. Over. Oh, and I must apologize. It's October 9th, not October 18th. I'm a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I apologize. Back to the final report. So we were looking at the timeline for the 25th, and then they plunked these pictures in, right in here. You would think that those pictures, at least one of them, would be from the 25th. But neither one are. And how convenient. All the timestamp information has been cropped out. The camera number, the location, and the timestamp. Because guess what? They don't want us to see that. And they were praying to the almighty whoever those lowlifes pray to, that nobody noticed the timestamps on the actual footage. The picture on the left is from 9:26 at 10:48. The picture on the right is from 9:28 at 9:48 p.m. That's from the valet transaction when I believe Mary Lou Danley showed up. Both of these take place camera 5430, Four Seasons Service Elevator Lobby. What I was so inclined to do was go back through the footage and screenshot and try to get the shot of pretty much the exact same time as these pics. However, in the footage, some faces are blurred, so it's a little blurry, but I think I did a pretty good job. This pic syncs up with the pic on the left in the final report, which I believe is September 26th at 10:48 p.m. So let's take a look at the timestamp information. Oops. Sorry. 5430 Four Seasons Service Elevator Lobby, 22:48:20. I believe that was September 26th. And here's all the large bags. He's rolling one bag. This screenshot syncs up with the picture on the right in the report. And this is 9:28. I believe it's 9:28 at 9:48 p.m. And that was the valet event with the person that I believe is Mary Lou Danley, and then that silver car behind her. So let's take a look at the timestamp information. Stupid mouse. 5430 Four Seasons Service Elevator Lobby, 21:49:09. I challenge all you narrative huggers to make an excuse for this one. Because guess what? You're not going to be able to. There is no reason for anyone to be on a Four Seasons Service Elevator Lobby with the bellhop with a shit ton of luggage that contains all these weapons, other than they're going to somewhere on the Four Seasons. And I would assume that you would have to be a registered guest to be able to access the Four Seasons, whether it be the regular guest elevators or the service elevators. So was that where he was checking into when he was at the VIP check-in counter at 2:52 p.m. on 9/25? It very well could be. And then did he, not to be weird, seem strange, come back an hour or half an hour later and check into floor, 32, 135? Or he could have done both at the same time. We don't know because we see no footage of the 3:33 p.m. supposed check-in time that Metro tells us. So there's a couple different scenarios there. However, there's nobody out there in YouTube land or anywhere else that can tell me that the bags that he kept bringing in were going to floor 32. Did not happen. They went to somewhere between 35 and 39 at the Four Seasons. And what makes this even more interesting is when you cross-reference the last interrogation report for 32-135. They show, now I'm not going to get into between the 306 and the 502 because there's some stuff going on there. That's more UFO UK hunter stuff than me, but I'm looking at 502. So if he's in the Four Seasons service elevator at 4:58 and he hasn't even gotten on that elevator to go to wherever he's going in the Four Seasons, do you really think that he could be back to 32-135 and use his card and open that door at 5:02 p.m.? I say, hell no. Did not happen. Guess who I think used that card? Could it have been the two blonde chicks that got out of the white car a minute or two before him down in Valet on 9/25? That would be my guess. There is no way that he is going to do whatever he's doing on the Four Seasons in the Four Seasons and get back to 32-135 to be able to use his card to open that door at 5:02 p.m. My guess is the two chicks that get out of the white car go in, they go to the registration desk, they pick up the card or cards that were left for them by Stephen Paddock, and they go to 32-135 and they use that card to open that door. It certainly was not Stephen Paddock. Again, unless he is superhuman, which I think Metro would like us to believe with all their bullshit that they put out there, that just is impossible. I mean, unless the laws of gravity, physics, nature, all that stuff don't apply right there in Las Vegas, Paradise City, on the Las Vegas Boulevard, unless those things don't apply, then there is no way that this old geriatric dude could be doing all the shit that they said he did. No way. There's no way. Again, I don't mean to torture you guys. That's not my mission to torture you, but if we need to connect, we need to connect. Who is going into 32-135 at 5:02 p.m.? And I can tell you that with almost all certainty, it was not Stephen Paddock. He was on the Four Seasons. He was somewhere between 35 and 39. He was not on floor 32 at 5:02 p.m. But guess who could have been? I give you these two chicks that get out of this white car. They're getting out at 4:55, almost 4. Oh, well, I guess they already got out. Sorry, here they go. They're getting out at 4:54. But that would be getting in there, going to the registration desk, picking up the cards that were left for them, and then motating up to the 32nd floor, room 135. the timeline works out for that. The timeline does not work for Stephen Paddock. No way in hell. He could not do that, get to the Four Seasons, drop off all those bags, do whatever else he was doing, and get to 32-135 at 5:02 p.m. But if somebody out there thinks he can, then I please ask you, do a video. Show me. Show me how that can be done. Because I'm going on the record saying, no, it can't be done. There was no way that could have been done. So, I don't know what excuses these people are going to come up with, what bullshit they're going to try to throw out there to debunk this. But I tell you, they're going to be hard-pressed to find anything, in my opinion. Unless I'm one of Jerry's kids, a complete idiot, then I really think that this is going to hold up. Because it's there. It tells us where he is at what time. How do you dispute that? How can you dispute that? You can't. So, what was the deal? What was the deal? Remember, there's the controversy about, I'm sorry, I can't say that word today, about the 35th floor. And the broken window that the festival CP, which there was a CP in the festival. They were in a trailer. It was one officer and one festival person. Now, who was on the radio, I don't know, but there was a Metro person in there and then a civilian who was, quote, the festival, the event coordinator. But by the time that they were seeing that broken window that they said was 8 floors down, there was more officers in there than just the one officer and the event coordinator. Because 2 other officers have to do surveillance and be security for that trailer for those officers. And they do have cameras that they can move and point any flipping where they want. And I'm sure they're high quality. They know what they're talking about. It's the same person who was the shots are coming from Mandalay Bay. Shots are coming from Gate 7. Did. I see a broken window 8 floors down. Same person, maybe different camera angle or whatever, but the same person, whether he was the Metro sergeant that was in there or a Metro officer. I don't want to say sergeant because that may not be true, right? But I believe that they tell us in the report that that was manned by a sergeant and then the civilian event coordinator. So whomever that police officer was, he knew what he was talking about. He wasn't just guesstimating. He was very firm in what he was saying. So, getting back to this, I'm sorry, my question is, were those bags of weapons going somewhere on the 35th floor? Was Paddock staying there with them while he had other people registered, or he had other rooms registered with other people in those rooms? I don't know. There's a lot of questions there, but either way, this makes the narrative go kaboom, because for the biggest reason, the weapons were not going to floor 32, room 135. No way in hell. Those were going somewhere on the 5 floors that are owned and operated by the Four Seasons. End of story. So, I just want to throw out there briefly that I believe, obviously, that Paddock was involved in something nefarious. I think he really, truly knew the whole scope of everything and how that stuff was going to go down that night? Probably not. Because, let's just say, all those weapons were up somewhere on the 35th floor. He's on the 32nd floor. Doubtful he's the one that's doing all the shooting. But whoever orchestrated this knows that he knows, and knows that Danley knows, and whoever else was in those rooms kind of know, or probably know too much. So, they had to get rid of him. But, in the same instance, they had to make the shit look like he's the one that did it, because obviously they don't want to get found out. So, they make him go away, they make a hard drive go away, and they make Mary Lou Danley go away. They let the other people go, and they start their fairy tale. So, again, am I saying that he was completely innocent in this whole thing? No, not at all. Danley? No, not at all. Do I think either one of those actually did any of the shooting? I always tend to go more on the no side. However, with that being said, they were dealing with these nefarious people in this nefarious situation, so they had to, at some level, know things could go wrong and real wrong and turn to shit real quick. But they let everything continue, and they continued to do and aid and help and however they did. So, does that make them responsible? In my mind, yes. However, are there other people out there just as or more responsible than Mary Lou Danley and Stephen C. Paddock? Yes. Who those people are, I don't know. But they're out there. They are out there. They orchestrated this, not Stephen Paddock. He didn't just fucking lose it one day and decide to kill a bunch of people. Not the way it works. So, I hope that I'm getting my point across and not being a total ass about it. But wow, this thing is exhausting. And like I said, they must think that we are completely dead brain morons not to be able to piece this stuff together. Granted, has it taken a while? Yes. And that's because of the way that they've released things and the way they jam narratives down our throat at every breath, you know, and even like, why did nobody pick up on the whole Four Seasons things? Well, maybe because every time they talked about it, it was, well, he was in he took the service elevators from floor 32, you know, or to get to floor 32, the service elevator. So what are we going to think? We're not going to think, oh, he was in the Four Seasons service elevators. No, we're going to think that he was on the Mandalay Bay service elevators. Of course. Maybe it was Malachi Brown's fucking stupid voice in his whole goddamn narration of the closed-circuit TV that got released to them exclusively at the New York Times by the MGM. And then the killer drew the service elevator up to floor 32. I know I'm not doing his voice right, but you know, you get my meaning. Like, just and then the killer went to his sniper's nest in 32 135. You know, bullshit. They and the New York Times, let me tell you, they chopped the CCTV footage up all to hell. Like, got it all discombobulated. Now, there is a couple things in that Malachi Brown thing that I did find that I don't have, and I was like, whoa, but they're very fleeting seconds that I do need to go back and take a look at. But I just don't even know what the whole footage is, because it's been so chopped up by the RJ, the New York Times. It's pitiful. I mean, don't let us make our own conclusions or have our own opinions. Do it for us, please. Please put out there the narrative that you were told to put out, okay? By chopping the shit out of this closed circuit TV, and why they MGM even had the frick gonads to release this, I don't know. With keeping those timestamps on there, hello, I mean, somebody screwed the pooch there, but to that somebody, I say, thank you. I'm going to wrap part 1 up right now, and hopefully get you part 2 very shortly. If you like my work and want to support it and keep me going, because I've been having some little rough time with some health issues and other things, and obviously my outdated equipment puts me at a big disadvantage. But my PayPal link is now operable, and it will be in the description, along with my Patreon account, and anything would be appreciated like you would not even know. If you like this video, please click like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. You guys know what to do. You're so smart. I will be uploading part 2 soon. Thank you.